Have you ever wondered why you just can't stand silence? Well, it turns out that constant need for some kind of background noise isn't a flaw. It's not a sign your attention span is broken. It's actually a pretty sophisticated survival mechanism that your brain is running, and we're going to get into exactly why. Think about it. The second you're alone, maybe you're in the car, doing chores, or trying to fall asleep, what do? You probably reach for something, right? A podcast, maybe some music, or even a show you're not really watching. Anything to fill that quiet. So, why do we do that? For years, we've been telling ourselves a story. We say, my attention span is broken, or I'm just addicted to distraction. But here's the reality. That's a myth. This isn't some character flaw. What's really happening is your brain is running a brilliant survival strategy. It's like you've created your own neurological span filter to protect yourself. Okay, to really get this, we have to be clear about one thing. You're not actually afraid of silence itself. Not really. What you're afraid of is what your own mind does when it gets quiet. Because for some of us, silence isn't peaceful at all. It's absolutely deafening. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The moment everything goes quiet, your brain just decides, hey, now's a great time to replay every single awkward thing you've said since high school. Sound familiar? Well, that background noise you put on, it's basically a babysitter for your brain, keeping it busy and out of trouble. So is this just some kind of bad habit we've all picked up? Nope, not even close. This is a very real, very sophisticated biological strategy, and it's all being run by a specific network in your brain. It's called the default mode network, or the DMN for short. Now, this is the part of your brain that just fires up whenever you're not focused on an external task. It's supposed to handle things like daydreaming, remembering stuff, planning for the future. But for people who tend to overthink, the DMN doesn't just hum quietly in the background. It screams. So let's picture this. You walk into a quiet room, and your default mode network immediately throws a massive party, inviting every anxious thought it can find. What's your instinct? You gotta find a way to create a buffer. You need to shut that party down. And that's where the background noise comes in. That sitcom you've already seen a dozen times, or those rain sounds you play to focus. What you're doing is artificially creating just enough cognitive load. You're giving your brain a simple, low-stakes task to keep it occupied so it doesn't have the spare capacity to spiral. This simple layer of sound becomes a buffer, a protective barrier between you and your own intrusive thoughts. You can think of it as an acoustic blanket. I mean, if you've ever felt this way, you know it's true. Sometimes, being alone with your thoughts is like being locked in a room with your absolute harshest critic. So that background noise isn't you avoiding life. It's an act of self-preservation. It's self-defense. And this is also why you crave noise that's predictable and familiar. When you rewatch an old TV show, you're not trying to figure out the plot. Your brain is just seeking the comfort of knowing exactly what's coming next. It's like putting your mind on cognitive cruise control. So when you put all these pieces together, what do? You get something psychology often misses. This isn't a bad habit. It's an incredibly resourceful, high-level form of emotional self-regulation. You've basically taught yourself how to install your own spam filter. Here's how it works. For you, maybe the brain's natural filter for intrusive thoughts is a little thin, and the DMN just screams right through it. So, you introduce an external, predictable sound. That noise creates a cognitive buffer. The spam filter is activated, and those intrusive thoughts get muted. Your whole nervous system gets the message. You're safe. And you know, for a lot of us, this instinct can be traced all the way back to childhood. If you grew up in a house where silence often meant something bad was about to happen, tension, an argument, then you learned on a deep level that a steady, predictable noise means things are okay. It means safety. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. If you're someone who can't drive without a podcast on, or you need a fan to fall asleep, it is time to drop the guilt. It's time to rewrite the story you've been telling yourself about it. People might tell you to just practice mindfulness or learn to sit in the silence. But when you have a brain that is constantly running threat detection simulations, that's just not reasonable advice. You are not failing at mindfulness. You are successfully surviving a brilliant but hyperactive mind that simply refuses to rest. So let's try to change the narrative. The next time you reach for that background noise, try a new inner monologue. Instead of the old thought, ugh, I have a terrible attention span, try the new thought, my nervous system just needs a little help turning down the volume today. Instead of, I'm so addicted to my phone, how about, this is a harmless way for me to soothe my own anxiety. It's a small shift, but it makes a huge difference. Look, this isn't about weakness. Far from it. This is about supreme resourcefulness. Finding a way to give your exhausted, hardworking mind the baseline of peace it needs to function is an incredible strength. So please, remember this. You are not broken. You just have a very active, very powerful mind. And sometimes you need to give it a break. So I'm really curious, what's your acoustic blanket of choice? Is it rain sounds, a favorite TV show, a specific podcast? Go ahead and share it in the comments. I guarantee you are not alone in this.